Should be okay.
You're live or not?
Yeah, it's me live. Okay. How's it? Are you popped on, Stephen?
Oh yeah, there.
Uh-huh. How is it?
Oh, I can't see the front of the. I can't see the front of the
mat?
mat.
I'll pull the mat back then, okay?
Sure.
Is that it? How's that? That better? Morning, everybody. How's that? Just doing, making sure everything's okay at this end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me smash them.
Yeah,
Morning.
You can see the front of the mat.
Uh-huh. Okay, Tammy, not a problem. Thanks for joining me. I've not done yoga for ages. Okay, we'll be here every Tuesday morning and a Wednesday from 6 till 7. So I'm going to do some more or less just how to get into poses today as well, because I know a few of the girls have said to me they haven't really done yoga for a while or brand new, so I'm going to just do some technique this morning as well, and we'll see how far we get. Morning Jim, how are you? Day off today? Morning Karen. Hope everybody's well. Got a helper here today as well. You might find Bonanza on the mat at some point. We'll just get started in a little minute. Okay. What I do need is... So okay, that's just a clock going flying. Morning Ruth, morning Muriel. Great, I'm loud and clear, wonderful, thank you. Another gorgeous day in paradise as well. Nice and sunny outside. The water is nice and clear, nice and smooth. And I can see a lovely millport this morning as well, so yeah, brilliant. Okay, so let's just get started, ladies and gents. We start off with some breathing this morning, but before we do that, just remember, anybody that's not done yoga before, take it easy. Just listen to your body. If your body's telling you a pose is too much for you, come out. I'll show you how to get into child's pose, but just be mindful of your body. I'm going to do some technique today as well, because I know there's a few people in the class that have not done yoga for a while or relatively new to it. So as I say, we'll start off with some pranayama, and then we'll go into some warm-up, and then from there we'll just go into sun salutation, and we'll see how far we get. So at the end of today, I'm going to take you right up to just about 2 minutes before the 1:45, and I'll take you into relaxation, and then from there on in, it's you know, it's up to you how long you stay in relaxation. Okay, I know some of you have just maybe nipped out from work or whatever. So good morning Alan, how are we? Glad you can join us. Okay, and good morning Helen. So let's get started. So if we just stand, feet just hip width apart. Now the easiest way to do that is have your feet together, okay? And then just from there, take your heels together, take your feet out, and then straighten your feet, and that effectively should be 2 fists apart. And that's just hip width, because a lot of people tend to think their hips are wider than they are. So that's just feet together, heels together, and then straighten up your feet. Okay, so from here, let's have a nice big inhale. In through the nose, and exhale out through the nose. And again, nice big inhale. Your knees are not locked. They're just a slight little bend in them. And again, nice big inhale. And exhale. So let's get some energy into that body. So we're just going to hit the back of the buttocks, down the back of the legs, right down to your tootsies, up through the front of the feet, up through the inside of the legs, back down the buttocks, down the outside of the legs, over the feet, up through the middle. And all we're doing here is energising the body and bringing some heat into what's known as your connective tissue. And that just warms up the body. Okay. And then from here on in, we'll come up and we'll go down from the top of the shoulder, inside of the arm. Clap the hands and then back up. The top of the shoulder, the arm, up to the shoulder, back down again to the hand, back up and back down. Okay, and one more. You know, when you're in a cold day and you come in and you go like this, you know, this is more or less just doing the same thing because you put some warmth into your body when you're doing that. And all we're doing here is, I say, just warming up the connective tissue to make it a bit more pliable. And last one. Any kids in the class, you can play it in Tarzan. You can indeed. And then we'll just warm up the tummy. And then from here, just back down the legs again. And back up. We'll do this 2 more times. And last one. And then we'll do a nice standing warm up this morning. So we'll start off again, hip width apart for your feet. Knees just slightly bent. Tailbone in. Tummy nice and tucked. Okay. So shoulders down. Head as if you've got a big long wire coming out connecting you to the sky. And all we're going to do here is exhale, take head down to one side. Inhale and then back down to the other. Let's inhale and exhale. And again. Exhaling. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Back to the centre. We'll get that head nice and tall, and then we're just going to bring the head down and tuck the chin in towards the chest. And all we're going to do is rotate round one way 3 times. Right here, a few wee creaks and cracks. And the opposite way. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And last one. Okay. And then from here, let's take the arms out to the side. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll the tops of my shoulders. So you've got your thumb here to the sky. And then I'm going to roll round. So my thumb is rotating right round, as is my shoulders, and then I'm coming back. I'm just warming up the rotator cuffs here. And again. And we'll do one more. Okay. Right here, bring your hands down and place them onto the tops of your thighs with your fingers facing each other. I'm going to do a wee cat-cow here. So I'll go to the side. Okay. So you're nice straight back, tummy's in. Okay, and we're going to inhale, and as we inhale, our tailbone's coming up towards the sky. We're looking straight ahead, warming up the spine, and then we change direction. So we're now looking at our navel, your belly button. Spine is now going up towards the sky, shoulder blades are parting, tailbone's coming down. Inhale, and exhale. And again, inhale, tailbone up towards the sky, spine dipping down, tummy still staying nice and tight. And one more. And let's inhale. And come back down again. So from here, just slowly make your way back up. And then we're just going to take the hips into a figure of 8, easing off those hips this morning. And I'm sure a few of you not long out your bed. And quite right too. Okay, and now we're just going to warm up the tops and the legs. So we're just going to bring up the leg and just take out and side to side, just rotate it round, your knee, your ankle, and your ankle the other way. Put the foot down, do the same on the other side. Okay, knee, okay, ankle, okay, and that's just a wee gentle warm up. So let's just give ourselves a wee shake out here. Okay, so today, this is my wall side, okay, so when I say I'm going to the wall, I'm turning this way. If I'm going to the window, I'm going that way, and I'm seeing the beautiful sea out there. Gorgeous. Okay, so from here we're going to go into a nice forward fold. So forward fold, you can either have your feet together or slightly apart. We're coming in, hands coming up towards the sky, and I'll go to the side, I'm going to the wall, you can stay facing the camera. This is just to let you see what I'm up to. And then from here we're inhaling, tipping from the hip, coming down, fingers and hands onto the floor if you can. You can put them on your shins or your thighs. Okay. So we're inhaling now and we're going on to those fingertips, and then we're exhaling, taking the hands back down. Bend your knees if you need to, and then we're slowly coming up. You take a nice big inhale, and then we're going to come back down again. Okay, placing those hands on the floor. So now we're going to make our way down onto the floor, onto all fours. So I'm taking one knee down and then the other. And from here I'm going into the child's pose. Okay. So the child's pose, I've got my wrists underneath my shoulders, my knees underneath my hips. My knees are now coming out to each side of the mat. My big toes are coming together, and I'm coming down with my bottom onto the tops of my heels. Not everybody can manage that, so don't worry if you can. Everybody's body is different. And I'm just going to bring the arms out in front of us. We're going to have a nice big stretch here. Okay, so what you're doing here is lengthening out your spine. Okay, now I'm going to walk my hands towards the camera, and I'm taking my far away hand on top of that hand, and that's me just stretching out my side. And then from here I'm going to walk my hands back into the centre, and then I'm going to walk to the opposite way, and I'm going to take my far away hand on top of that hand as well, and again I'm getting a nice big stretch along the side of my body. And now I'm going into the nice child's pose. Now this is a posture, not just in this practice but any practice at all. If you feel as if you're needing a bit of time out, just come into it. Okay. If you feel some nights you're stressed and you just want to come into a class and just lie like that, feel free. Okay. And then from here, let's come up into all fours. And we'll do some cat-cow while we're on the floor here. I've got my wee cheat sheet here because I put this one together for you guys. So I'll just stay this way. Okay. So again, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then from here, I'm going to inhale, so I'm looking straight ahead. Tailbone's coming up towards the sky. And then I'm exhaling. And as I exhale, my spine rising towards the sky. Shoulder blades are parting. For those that are a bit more experienced, you can press the front of your feet into the mat and your knees in your hands, and you feel that a bit tougher. And then let's inhale. And let's exhale. And one more. Inhale. And let's exhale. We're moving on to next posture, which is called tiger. Okay, so I'll use my leg that's closest to the camera. And all I'm going to do here is the first level, second level and third level. So the first level is, again, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips, your thighs are nice and level. Okay, and all we're going to do here is inhale, and you're bringing your knee into your nose, so your spine's rising, okay, or rounding rather. And then we're exhaling and we're taking it away. And then again we inhale, and we exhale. And one more, inhale, and exhale. Stay at this level or come with me, taking your opposite arm out, so it's opposite arm, opposite leg. So we're doing a bit of a balancing act here. And all we're going to do here is, again, inhale, bringing your elbow into your knee, taking the arm back out and the leg out. And again, and take it back out again, nice and slow. And again. And taking that hand away. Stay level 1 or level 2, level 3, come with me if you want to. Bend that back knee, take that foot across to the other side, i.e. your opposite hip. Take your hand away, it's 3. Take it round, hold on to the back of that foot and bring your foot up, or your thigh up. Nice big thigh stretch here. And then let's just release, no matter what position you're in, whether it be 1, 2 or 3, and we're back to the beginning again. So I'll turn round and we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring that knee, a level 1, knee into the nose, and take that foot away, and I'm going to have to shift. Knee into the nose and take it away, and again, knee into the nose, taking it away, knee into the nose and taking it away. Stay here, come with me to level 2. So we're now balancing. So again, we're taking that knee into the elbow and take it away. And again, inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. Stay level 1, level 2, or come with me, which is bend the back leg. Take it across to the opposite hip. The hand that's off the floor, take it behind you. Hold on to that foot. Bring the thigh up as level as you can with that hip. And we'll just have a couple of breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. And then let's just release. Elbow back into knee. And then we're back to the beginning. Okay, so from here, let's just come up into your first down dog. So the down dog, we're looking for your hands to be nice, fingers to be nice and wide. Okay, so what you do here is again back into all fours. You've got your wrists under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, fingers, as I've said, nice and wide. Your thumb and your index finger are suctioning onto that floor. Okay, and that's your point. You know, notice your point here for your stability here. Okay, and then we're going to turn those toes under, and then we're just going to take the tailbone up to the sky. Your knees can be bent, they don't have to be straight. Your heels don't have to come down onto the floor, but if they can, that's great. If not, not a problem. Your aim is to have a nice straight spine. Your shoulder blades are coming out towards the side. You can turn the tops of your arms up for those more experienced, you know, and assist getting those shoulder blades further away. Okay, and the tailbone's up towards the sky. Your head is free, okay? You don't want any, you know, anything too rigid here. Okay. Now we're going to walk the dog. So I'm going to put my foot that's close to the camera onto the ball, and my back foot's going on the floor, my other foot's going on the floor. And then I'm just changing from side to side. Just going for a walk, nice and slow. Just warming up the hamstrings. Lovely. That's great, guys. Wonderful. Last one. And then let's just come onto those toes. And take both feet back down onto the floor. Up onto those toes. And back down onto the floor. And again. Back down onto the floor. Let's walk towards those hands. Let's have a nice big inhale. And a nice big exhale. And we're going to go into what's known as mountain pose. Mountain pose is just everybody okay? Morning, Carol. Mountain pose. So mountain pose, again, you can have your feet together or hip width apart. Your choice, whichever more comfortable for you. Hands coming up into the sky and then coming down into prayer. Mountain pose. Why is it called mountain pose? Because if you look out, and most of you are down in Ayrshire, so if you look out and you either see the lights of Arran, where you're really, the goat fell, solid as a rock, So you're looking at being as solid as a rock when you're standing here in mountain pose. Okay. So from here we're going to get into sun salutation. For those of you who haven't done it before, I'll run through one, full one, and then join me. Okay. So we're going to have come up, coming down. Okay. And then from here we come into inhale and exhale, and I'll come to the side, which we done in forward fold. Okay. So from here we're then going to take one leg back and the other we're in high plank, but don't panic, we're only staying here for a second. Dropping those knees down, turning the toes onto the floor, and then bring the elbows slightly in towards your rib cage, taking the tailbone up to the sky. Bring your chin and chest down onto the floor, coming up into an up dog. Just a slight back bend, turning those toes under again, coming back up into down dog. We're bringing your right foot forward, then your left, and making your way back up again. Hands up towards the sky, way back bend, and down into mountain pose. And then we would do the same on the other side. Okay, so we're going to run through that twice today. Okay, so again, let's just get started. So either feet, well, you're in mountain pose to start with. So hands coming up towards the sky. Inhale. Let's come forward, bringing those hands down. Let's inhale onto those fingertips. Again, if you can't manage that, on your shins or your thighs. Bringing your hands down onto the floor. Let's take one leg back and the other. We're in that high plank. We're dropping those knees down, turning the toenails onto the floor. Elbows in towards the rib cage, taking the tailbone up towards the sky. Coming down, the chin and the chest, gliding along that floor, coming up. And then we turn those toes under, coming up into down dog. We'll have 3 breaths here. And 3. I'm going to bring your right leg, I'm taking my back leg forward. Now if you can't manage to get your leg forward, what you can do is take it out to the side, hold on to that ankle, glide your foot forward, and then come to the top of the mat with your other foot, and then just slowly make your way back up. Nice big inhale, back bend, bring those hands down. And again on the other side. Okay, so up we come, coming forward, bringing those hands down onto the floor. Let's inhale now, fingertips onto the mat, shins or thighs, hands back down. I'm taking one leg back, 2 legs back, and then from here I'm in high plank. Okay, dropping those knees down, elbows coming in towards the rib cage, feet on the floor, your toenails on the floor, tailbone looking up towards the sky, still keeping that tummy in, chin and chest coming down onto the floor, gliding along. You come down. If you can't manage that, just go into a child's pose. Okay, because from here you can still come up into down dog. So if you're in up dog, we're turning those toes under. If you're in child's pose, you're coming back up into down dog. We're having 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Bring your left foot forward, or your other foot forward, and then your back leg forward, and then we come up. A nice wee back bend, and then hands back into prayer again. And then one more, full round, inhaling, and then exhale. Hands coming down onto the floor. Let's inhale onto those fingertips. Exhale, take hands back down. We'll get into high plank. Both legs are back now. Hold here, drop the knees, taking your toenails and your feet onto the floor. Those elbows coming into the chest, tailbone coming up, tummy nice and tight, coming through or into child's pose, and into up dog. Turn those toes under, coming back up. 3 breaths here. 2, and 3. Bringing your right leg forward, then your left, and then we're making our way up. A nice big inhale, wee dinky back bend, hands together, then prayer. And the last one, nice big inhale. Inhale coming up, exhale coming forward, hands onto the mat. Okay. Let's come on to those fingertips and let's exhale those hands back down. Taking your opposite leg back. Again, nice big high plank. Dropping those knees down onto the floor. Front of the feet and your toenails onto the mat. From here, elbows in towards the rib cage, tailbone coming up, coming down, and coming forward into this lovely up dog. Wee dinky back bend. Turn those toes under. Coming into your last down dog of this set. 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Bring your left leg forward, and then your right, and then from here, just make your way up nice and slowly. Hands coming up towards the sky, dinky back bend, hands coming back down into prayer. Everybody okay so far? Good, excellent. So from here, we'll be going into warrior 1. So warrior 1, you're going to take, I'll take my, going to be this leg, my right leg, I'm taking it towards the wall. Okay. So what I'm aiming to do here is having my right foot forward and my left foot behind me, and my left foot is a 45-degree angle. Okay. So from here I'm bending my front thigh and I'm looking for my shin to be in line with my ankle. My hips are going to come round towards this wall here. Now to do that I might have to make my feet wider, which means going towards the long side of the mat, because if you try to do this with your feet behind each other you'll be all over the place. So you need to adjust your feet accordingly, and again everybody's different here. So we're bringing your hips, your headlights towards that wall. Okay. So your back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Front knee, as I say, is in line with the shin. Your knee is going out towards your pinky toe side. Shoulders are away from your ears. Your tummy is in and your tailbone's under. You're bringing those arms up towards the sky. Now if you bring them up too straight, you bring your shoulders up. So you can bring them forward. Or for some people, go into cactus arms, or for some, you can bring your hands together. So whatever is available to your body. You know, the benefit to doing this in the house is, you know, there's nobody watching you. The downside is there's nobody there to correct you either. So yeah, but there's no, you're not competing with anybody. Okay, so we're just going to have 5 breaths here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So from here we're going into humble warrior. So we're going to keep that knee bent at the front. So from here we're inhaling and we're coming forward, and those fingertips are just going to roll right across the floor, taking up to the back, and then we come forward again, taking those hands up towards the sky, and then we come back down again. Okay. And then we're going to clasp those hands behind. So we're just clasping those hands away from the body if we can, and pulling those shoulder blades, the rotator cuffs back. Okay. And then we release those hands, gliding them along the floor and bringing them back up again. So we're now going to go on to the ball of our back foot, and maybe just bring your foot in about an inch. Okay. So we're going to go into a lunge from here. So we're going to drop the back knee down, not touching the floor, and then straighten it back out, working on the quads. And back out, and back in, and back out. Now from here, we're going to drop the back knee down onto the floor. Toenails onto the mat, bring your hands together in prayer hug face you. Okay. And then from here, we're taking your far away elbow and taking it to the outside of your bent knee. Your fingertips are facing onto the camera, okay, or facing the front, whichever way you are. And then from here, we're just going to turn the back toes if it's available to you and take that back leg off the floor. It's just a bit stronger for those that can manage it. And then we're going to take those arms apart if you can. Oh, feeling that this morning. And then bring this hands back together, dropping the knee back down, come to the front, make your way back up again, and take that foot back out into 45 degree. I'll go back into my position that I was in. I'm then going to take my arms up towards the sky. I'm going to straighten out my front leg, but not lock it, so you've still got a wee minuscule bend there. Tummy's nice and tight. I'm going to inhale, and I'm coming down into pyramid. So I'm coming down into pyramid position. Okay, so my front knee's bent. It's not, front knee is long. It's not bent. And then from here, glide back up again. Back into warrior one. And then we're going to take the back hand, take it round to the side, face the camera, we're in horse. So your feet are now at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, okay? And then from here we're going to bring those arms up towards the sky. We're going to go over, I'm going over to the wall side. And then I'm coming back into centre. And all I'm doing here is moving my torso. My arms are staying where they are. Why are we doing this? A few things. We're still in the spring season, and this is really, really good for stretching out your liver and your gallbladder. It's also really good as well for toning up the waist. It's an excellent one for doing that. And then back to centre. So from here, I'm going towards the window, and I'm now back into warrior one. You've noticed there that I have adjusted my back leg to accommodate my hips coming forward like headlights. Okay, my front knee's bent, shins in line with the ankle. Okay, so I'm bringing my arms up, and again I've not got them too high up because my shoulders come up. Okay, so we bring them down. You can either go into cactus arms, or for those it can even stand like so. And then from here on the 5 breaths, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. From here, bring those arms up. We're coming into humble warrior. So we're inhaling and we're coming forward. So your rib cage is going onto that thigh. Fingertips are coming right along the mat. Taking your arms behind you. Bring them back along again. Coming back up. And then coming back down. Taking those arms behind you. Clasping those hands. You can do it. Take the hands away from the body. You're feeling a nice big movement in the shoulders. Let's release those hands and let's come up. Let's adjust the back foot. So we're now going on to the ball of the foot because we're going into a lunge. So we're working on the quads. We're coming down and coming back up, but just straightening that leg out. And the third one. So this one, let's drop the knee onto the floor, toenails onto the mat, bring the hands together in prayer, taking my elbow over to the opposite side of the outside knee. My fingertips are now facing onto the front, and then from here, if you stay here or come with me, if it's available to you, taking the back knee off the floor. And then you can, if you wish, stretch round. And then we're going to bring those hands back together again. Dropping that knee down. And then we're coming up. And then from here, come back into horse. And bring those arms up. Let's just get hold of those elbows this time. I'm going towards the wall. Again, all I'm doing is shifting my torso, and the other side, and again, and one more. Lovely. Let's lay those arms out. Moving on, everybody okay so far? Everybody okay? Good. So we'll get into Warrior 2. Warrior 2 is slightly different. So you're looking at, again, it's my right leg that's going towards the wall. Okay. So my back foot this time is just 45 to 90 degree angle on the back. Okay, so just at an angle there. So you're looking at your front heel in line with the back medial arch. Okay. So you're looking at about 4 or 5 feet apart here. Again, the knees in line with the shin. You're working from your feet upwards. So making sure your feet are nice and straight here at the front. Your knees going out to your pinky toe side. Okay. Your hips this time, coming round towards this camera. Tailbones in, tummy in. Shoulders away from the ears and your arms are coming out nice and long. So your aim here is to have your body nice and straight. So if you're here, we don't want that. And we certainly don't want you there because that's your way in the past. Let's stay in the present. So we're nice and in line with the body here. So from here, let's look round. And we're looking round at the big middle finger. And then from here, we're just going to inhale. And we're going to Peaceful Warrior. So we're bringing the top hand up, we're looking at thumb. Hand, back hand's going down the back thigh. So there's a lot of strength going into that back leg. You're working here, coming right up your intercostal muscles. You're working right up top to your arms. You're working on your tummy. You're also working on your thighs. So you get a nice big stretch here. Okay, sorry, you should keep your front leg bent as well. And then from here we're coming forward. And we're coming over. And then back again. Okay, looking up at that thumb. And again. And one more. And from here come forward. And then windmill the back arm over. We're coming back into horse stance. Let's hold the hands together. Taking the palms, face them up towards the sky. I'm coming towards that window, the wall again. And I'm coming up into centre. I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling. If you've been doing this for a few weeks, you can go a wee bit lower. And back in. Let's exhale. And inhale. And again. Over you go. Back in. Last one. So let's do Warrior 2 on the other side. So we'll windmill this hand round. So again, start off your feet. Front foot's nice and long. Okay. I'm pointing it towards the window. My thigh's bent because my knee's bent. Shin is in line with the ankle. My knees going over towards my pinky toe side. My hips are coming round towards the camera. My back foot, okay. So here, again, 4 to 5 feet. Front heel in line with the back medial arch. Okay. Arms nice and long, shoulders not up, keep them away. Looking down at that long finger. And again, we're going to inhale here. And taking the back hand down the back thigh. So again, a lot of strength there. Going down the back leg, going down to the pinky toe and down to the back of the heel. And then we inhale. Coming forward. And then back up again. And again. And you're working again. And your thighs, your hips, your tummy, your arms. Wonderful. And come forward. Okay. And then from here, windmill those hands round. Back into that lovely horse stance. Hands together in prayer. Taking over to the wall. Exhale over to the window. Coming back up again. Over we go. Okay. And over. And then from here, let's go into Trikonasana. So your back foot's coming in just slightly closer to you. Front foot's pointing towards my wall, okay. front legs nice and straight but not locked out. My hips coming towards the camera, arms nice and long. So from here I'm going to bend forward, and as I bend forward I want my back hip, which is going towards the window, to come up, which allows the front hip to come in. It's allowing me to glide forward, and then I'm going to come down, and as I come down the back of my hand comes in towards my calf. So my shoulders are now going to be stacked on top of each other, so if you know how to do that, great. If not, take the bottom shoulder towards the camera and the top one away. Okay, and that should stack your hips, even your shoulders. Okay, and then from here we come back up, and then we turn round and we're going to the other side. So again, straight leg, okay, hips coming up towards my wall, the back hip, front hips coming in is allowing me to glide forward, bringing that hand down, shoulder coming forward, bottom shoulder forward, top one come back, and looking up at that thumb. Lovely. And then from here, up we come into horse, and then just walk the feet in together. We'll come to the top of the mat, and we'll come into a nice forward fold. Nice big inhale, and exhale, coming down. Okay. Onto fingertips, hands coming down. Okay. And then let's just come back up again. So is everybody okay so far? Wonderful. Excellent. So from here, we're in this lovely forward fold, coming down, and we're going into down dog. So we're going to take one leg back and the other. Okay. So we're in down dog. Okay. As we've done before, fingertips nice and wide. Okay, you can bend your knees here if you want to. Okay. And then from here we're going to get into dancing warrior. So let's bring your feet a wee bit closer together. So dancing warrior, I'll show you and then you can join me. So I'm going to take my left leg up towards the sky. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is bring it forward and towards me, bending it. And then I'm taking it back up. And I'm taking it back in again. Taking it back up. And down. Okay, all I'm doing is bending my knee. Okay, and taking it back up again. So we do that on both sides. Okay. So we're in down dog. So from down dog, let's lift. I'll go from my left leg towards the camera. So I'm lifting it up nice and high. And then I'm bending it. And I'm bringing it forward. And then I'm taking it back up again. And exhaling, coming down. And I'm inhaling. Nice and high. Coming down. And then placing it on the floor. And then we'll do the same in the other leg. So we're going to raise that leg up towards the sky. And then bring it down in between. And then from here. And coming back down. And back in again. And back down. And from here, just drop your foot back down onto the floor. And we'll land back up in that down dog. Now there is an add-on to dancing warrior, but we'll maybe add that on another week. Okay, so tailbone's coming up to the sky. And then from here all we're going to do is walk to the front of the mat. We're going to come up, we're coming into that mountain pose. And bring those hands down into prayer. Okay, so we're going to move on and we're going to go into a chair pose, quite a tough one. Okay, and we'll add a twist to it as well. So I'll show you what to do first. If you know what to do, just join me. So hands coming up towards the sky, and as we come down, we're in mountain pose there, so we're coming down into chair pose. Okay, and that is chair pose. We'll add on to that in a second. Okay, so let me face you. Okay, so hands coming up towards the sky and coming down. Your feet can be apart here or together, your choice. You're trying to get your thighs level. You can also touch the ground with your fingers if you want to. I prefer having my feet together for this one. Okay. And then from here, if you've managed that, you can take one elbow onto the other knee and just face it forward. Okay. And then back into centre. Okay, stay here if you want, and then come on the other side. Okay. And then let's have 3 breaths. And then from here back into centre, coming back into, oh, it's a toughie. I've done 15 miles yesterday, or 13 miles. Between walking and running, so the tops of my thighs are on fire this morning. Okay, nice big inhale. Come into mountain pose. Everybody okay? Wonderful. Okay, wonderful, great. So from here, thanks Alan. So from here, we're going to go into pigeon pose. So pigeon pose, there's 2 options for you. The first option I'll show you, second option I'll show you as well. So the first option is, we're going to down dog, so we're coming up nice and high. Nice big forward fold, bring those hands forward. I'm going to take one leg back and then the other. Okay, and then I'll lift this left leg up, and as I bring my left knee forward, I'm going to take it to the outside of my left wrist. I'm dropping my right knee onto the floor, and my toenails in the front of my feet are going onto the floor as well. If you want to stretch that leg out, the back leg even more, just press your foot into the floor, taking the knee off the floor, stretching that foot away. Okay, so you're looking here to have your left knee just at your left wrist, your heels just at your groin, and then from here you've got options. You can stay with your hands flat, you can go onto your fingertips, or you can come on to your forearms. Okay, now you can, if you want to, come straight down as well, but your aim here is to keep the spine nice and long. So if you need a block in, you can put it underneath or a pillow, and you can put it underneath your other leg, but if you want to, you can just stay here. Okay, so if you want to get into that position, you go into there. Your other option would be, for those that can't manage that, is go onto your back, bring your knee in, use my left leg, put it on top the ankle over my right thigh, just below my knee towards my thigh, and then all I'm going to do is raise my right leg up and hold on to that thigh, the right thigh. So that's giving you the same stretch here as you would get doing the other one as well. So you've got 2 options here if you want to. So those that are in the first option, okay, let's start to come back out. So let's come back up onto those fingers. Okay. And then from here, all we're going to do is bend that back knee and hold on to that ankle, pulling that heel into your opposite, oh, this is the buttock at that side. Wow, that's a really good quad stretch. Great. And then just release. The hands coming back down onto the floor if you're in your second. If you're doing the second option, just swap round to your other leg. Okay. So from here, let's turn onto the toes, coming into down dog. For those that are in the first option, if your second option, just go straight into the opposite leg. So let's raise the opposite leg up. We're bringing that down to the outside. I've got it to the outside of my right wrist. Okay. I've dropped my left knee onto the floor, my toenails in the front of my foot. I want to stretch that leg out a bit more, so I've lifted my knee up, pushed it away, and dropped it back down again. My heel is just at my groin. And then from here I can stay in my hands, I can go on my fingertips, I can come down on my forearms, and this is my wonky side, so I'm just going to stay on my forearms. We'll just have 5 breaths here. 4 and 5. Let's come back up onto those hands. And I'm just going to bend that back knee. I'm just going to hold on to that back foot, bring in that heel into the buttock. Okay. So I hope everybody's coping okay with the situation that we're in just now at the moment as well. And release. Okay. So from here, no matter what position you're in, let's come into all fours, take the knees out to the side of the mat, and we'll come into a nice child's pose. Okay, so now you should feel a lot more flexible. And for those that might manage not to come down onto your buttocks the last time, you might manage it a wee bit more now because your body is beginning to warm, which is really your connective tissue getting a bit more flexible as well. Okay, so let's come onto all fours. And then we're going to go into a nice high plank. So to go into high plank, you really need a lot of core strength here. So you're holding in your tummy and your tailbone. Use the area, but if you can't manage that, just come into, a half plank, you're okay. For those in full plank, let's lift one leg up and down, and the other, and down, and again. Good for working on the buttocks, this one. And back down again. And then from here, let's just come straight into down dog. Few resting breaths here. 3, 2, and 1. And let's just walk to the front of the mat. And we're just going to come up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Hands come up towards the sky. And then we're back down. Okay. So I'm going to do a wee bit on wrist just now because we've done quite a few down dogs this morning. So let's rotate those wrists one way and then the other. Let's clasp them and just give them a nice wee rotation. This is really good if you've got a lot of wrist work to do as well. So let's take the back of the hands just at the rib cage and press the back of the hands into those ribs, and you feel a nice stretch in those wrists as well. Doing that, quite a simplistic one, but it works. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to do some balance here. Okay, so the balance is tree, and we'll move on from there. So let's bring both feet together. Now this can be done if you're a wee bit out of balance this morning. You can use a chair, the back of the sofa, or if you've got wall space, you can use the wall space. If you're using a sofa, then just hang on as we're coming up. Okay. So I don't know how balanced I'll be this morning because I'm on 2 mats and a carpet. So from here, we're bringing these hands together in prayer. So the left leg is your active. This is my window leg's my active leg. So it's just going to have a wee active bend in it and no more. So from my right ball of my foot is on the floor and my heel and my ankle are coming together. That's level 1. Level 2, you can take it up towards your calf. Please don't go on to your knee. You'll do yourself some damage. If it's available to you, you can take your foot up to your thigh and we can stay here. Okay. So from here we're going to push. I'm going to take my foot down because it's just sliding. So I'm going to take my foot into my calf. So I'm pushing my foot into my leg and my leg into my foot. Okay. So now I'm going to pull up my pelvic area and breathe in, inhaling, and I'm bringing in my waist. And I'm bringing my hands up. Let's go into cactus arms here. Keeping the shoulders away from your ears. We'll just have a few breaths. Lovely. And then we're going to use the knee that's bent, using the same hand on the same side. Straighten that arm out. I'm going to hold on to my ankle. I'm going to give myself a nice quad stretch here. So I'm looking for my thighs to be in line with each other. And my heel is coming into my buttock, or your bum. And then I'm going to come forward. Okay, and get into a nice wee dancer's pose. Okay, taking that thigh up Lovely. And then I'm just going to release. Bring my knee into my chest, give it a wee hug. And then take it back down onto the floor. Other side. Hope everybody's okay. So my right leg's now my wall leg's my active leg. I'm going on to the ball of the foot, heel to ankle, level 1. Level 2, coming up onto your calf. Level 3, coming onto your thigh if you can manage it. But again, it really just depends on your leggings. If they're going to allow you to do that. That side seems to be okay. Okay. And then I'm going to press my foot into my leg into my foot. And then I'm going to raise my arms up, pulling in my pelvic area, pulling up pelvic, taking them into cactus arms. Let's just have a few breaths here. Lovely. And then I'm raising the other arm up, taking my arm down, taking my foot behind me. Nice big quad stretch. Thighs coming together. Heel coming towards that buttock. A few breaths here. Keeping the shoulders away from your ears. And then coming forward. Lovely. Really nice. And coming back. Bringing that knee, giving it a nice big hug. In towards that chest. And drop it down. Nice big inhale. And release. Okay. So from here we're going to do a nice mountain pose. And release. Okay. And let's just release off some of those shoulders as well. So we've done this earlier on. So the shoulder arms are nice and long. So let's take the thumbs up towards the sky. Rotating round. Thumb coming back up. And back. And again. Lovely. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Yeah. And then hands back in together. Do one for the shoulders this time. Still a balance pose. It's really good if you can do it up against the wall. It gives you a bit more stretch in the back of those shoulders. So we're looking for both legs of both feet to come together. Called eagle pose. So everybody's different here. So a slight bend in the knees. So we're going to take one leg. Again, I'm using my lower leg, which is my right leg. I'm taking it over the outside of my left shin. And I'm just wrapping it as much as I can. For some people, it might just be 2 pinky toes together. That's fine. That's okay. Or just at the side of your calf, or to the back, or right round. Okay. So we're in this position whereby, as if we're in a seated position. Okay, just a bit, your tailbone coming out a bit. Okay. So from here I'm going to take my left arm, the opposite arm, if you've got whatever leg you've got on top, take the opposite arm and cross it over above the crease of the opposite elbow. Bring your hand round, palms together. If you can't manage that, just at the back of the hands will do fine. Okay. And then we're going to come into another seated position, coming down a bit more, raising those arms up towards the sky. And you get a nice big stretch in those shoulder blades. If you're against a wall, just make sure your shoulder blades and your bum is still against that wall. Nice big stretch there. And then release. We all seem to carry lots of stress in the top of those shoulders. So yeah, it's a good one for doing that. Can be done anywhere, even if you're sitting in a car, you know, and you're a bit stressed, even if you're in the office, just nip into the loo and sit in the loo and just go into that. You can do it. So let's go on to the other leg. Okay, so again, we're just wrapping round. Just as much, again, if it's pinky to pinky, that's fine. Okay, and then we're taking the opposite arm over, just above the crease of the arm. Wrapping them round if you can, palm to palm. If not, back of the hands. Getting into a nice seated position, keeping the back straight, taking those arms up towards the sky. Doing great, guys. Absolutely brilliant. Still no used to this, not having anybody in front of me. Seeing everybody's expressions and seeing how we're doing. And then from here, let's release. Nice big inhale. And then from here, a nice big forward fold again. Coming down into forward fold. Hands coming onto the mat. Coming onto your fingertips. Hands coming back down. Taking one leg back, and the other one in this plank. We're dropping down onto the knees. Let's take the knees out to each side of the mat. Big toes together. And into a nice child's pose. Let's just have 5 breaths here. Wonderful. And then from here, let's come up into all fours and we'll make our way around into a seated position. So for those who know me, we know I love this pose called Navasana. And tap one for your tummies. I'll face here. So we're looking from your back to be nice and long, okay? So we're on a sit bone, so how do we do that? Let's go into the knuckles and just lower back down again. Get in your position right. So my feet are on the floor, okay, my knees are up towards the sky, back's nice and long, shoulders away from your ears. Taking those hands and we're taking them underneath, so my palm of the hands are towards my thigh, just underneath my knees as well. And there's 3 levels here. So we can go onto your toes, that's just your first level because we're sucking in that tummy. And then the next level is bringing those shins up towards the sky. 3rd level is taking your legs up even higher. There is a 4th level, you can take your hands away. Okay, so from here you can feel it in your tummy already. And then you can drop one toe down onto the mat, only if you want to, and the other. And just nice and gentle. Both toes if you want to, with a bit more strength. Doing great, guys. This is a bit that I miss. Seeing everybody. And last one. So let's come in and cross those ankles. Okay, and we're just going to go onto either your hands or your knuckles, and all we're going to do here is lift the buttocks up off the floor. It's a wee counter pose. And then we'll drop the buttocks back down. Let's lie down on the floor and we'll do an old-fashioned bicycle. So we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, taking the hands behind the head, and then I'm going to take my leg out that's towards the camera, and that same elbow is coming over towards the opposite knee. And all we're doing here is just going from side to side. Nice and slow. Lovely. It doesn't matter whether it's yoga, Pilates, it's all called the same. A nice wee cycle. Okay, lovely. I'm going to throw another wee tummy one in this morning as well. After this one. Do 2 more. And then bring the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Let's place the feet on the floor. Take the hands behind, come down a wee bit. Take the hands behind the head, and as we exhale, inhale, and exhale, pulling that tummy in. Okay, wonderful. You'll thank me for this in a couple of months' time. Strutting about the back garden instead of the holiday resorts. Last one. And then just bring those knees into your chest. Okay, and just roll slightly from side to side. And then from here, going to get into a shoulder stand. Shoulder stand is really, really good. I'm not going to do a full shoulder stand for the simple reason being I can't see anybody and I can't see if they're doing it properly. So the options, when I say properly, it's for their own safety to make sure they're doing it right. Don't want any injuries. So we're going to lie on your back. If you've got a cushion to hand, grab a cushion or a block. And from here on in, if not, just use your hands. So all we're going to do is take the hands, and I'm putting my thumb and my index finger together, which is giving me a diamond shape. Okay, and I'm going to take that underneath my buttocks, and I'm going to just take it at my sacrum. If you've got a block or a cushion, just put it underneath your sacrum as well. And then we're going to bring the knees together. We're just going to raise those legs up towards the sky. So my toenails are now towards the sky. It's a really good one. It's good for relaxing the body. It's good for bringing the heart rate down. It's good for your digestive system as well. You can do it against a wall. If you're against a wall, you can actually lie your legs apart. It's very, very relaxing. You can cross your ankles as well if you want to. Okay, lovely. Just stay here for another few breaths. And then from here, just going to bring those knees down, place the feet on the floor, lift the buttocks up, remove what you've got underneath there, and then just come back down onto the floor again. So, moving on into bridge position. So you're looking for your feet to be at hip width apart, okay, which breaks your knees and your thighs further away from each other as well. They're parted. So we're going to bring those feet in towards the buttocks as close as we can, okay, and if we can touch the back of those heels, that's even better. So from here we're going to raise the pelvic area up towards the sky, and we'll just release it off and bring it back down. And again, bring it back up and bring it back down, and again bring it back up and down. And this time we're actually going to press into those feet, and we're going to take the hips, pelvic area off the floor, rising it up towards the sky. Okay, so you feel the pressure in those thighs, you're pushing. It's as if you want to push your thighs together, but you're not actually touching. So if you had a block or a book there, you could do that. So if you don't have a block, what you can do moving forward is maybe a hardback book, but do the exact same thing. Okay. And then just release, so we're coming down one vertebrae at a time in your spine, down onto that floor. Okay. So again, let's just roll. Up we come. I know a few of the private yoga studios moving forward when we reopen, they won't be giving out mats or blocks or anything. I don't know what the guidelines will be for local authorities or leisure centres, I have no idea, but it might be for your own safety to get your own mat and your block, and bring it with you when we do eventually open. You'll get them on Amazon, you'll get them in Tesco's, just roll down back down again. The other thing you might want to look at is straps. If everybody wants to bring a strap for next week, if you don't have one, if you've got a tie or a belt. For those of you who know me in my class, I've grabbed all my husband's horrible ties, so you can't wear them, and I've got them in my yoga mat bag, which I give out. But as I say, moving forward, I don't know what the guidelines will be for everybody's safety, because as you know, we don't know who's using the blocks and the line on the floor through the back cupboards and everything as well, so just to make you aware of that. Do one more. But for your own use in the house as well. Okay, so, and back down again. So let's just bring those knees into your chest. Lovely. Okay, so come up into a nice seated position, and we'll go into Dandasana. So Dandasana, nice pose here. Legs are nice and active, so your knees as if they're coming into your thighs. Tootsies are coming up towards the ceiling. Hands at the side of the mat. Okay. Back nice and long, shoulders away from your ear. Lovely. And let's just have a few breaths here. Okay. Now you're working, as I say, every muscle in your body here. You can actually feel everything working. then release. I'm going to take this leg out to the side, and I'm going to bring this sole of the foot into the thigh. It's called Janusasana. So I've got my thigh against my sole of the foot, the sole of the foot against the thigh. My bent knee, okay, I've taken that hand and I've given that wee bit of pressure, and I'm making sure I'm on my sit bones, which is taking my knuckles onto the floor and coming back down and taking my buttocks up and down. This leg here is in line with my hip, big toe. Raising that arm up, and I'm coming forward if it's available to you. We'll use the big toe, the yogic toe, which is in between the big toe and the second toe. If that's not available to you, go onto your shin or your thigh. Okay, lovely. And all you're doing there is a nice big stretch. So what you're doing here is you're working on stretching out the legs, stretching out the hips, working on the back and the lower back, stretching out the spine, taking the back arm up and coming over. And again, if you had a strap here or a tie or a belt, you can put that round your foot, and that helps you get into the posture as well. So that's what I do like about yoga, is there's lots of options there, and there's props that you can use, which is fantastic. Okay. So from here we're going to take the top arm, take it behind you, place it on the floor, bring your front arm up, let's lift up. Okay, so all of what I've done is on the shin of my bent knee, I've lifted my leg up, put my foot on the floor of the straight leg, and now I'm going to come back down, and I'm just going to turn round and I'm going to twist as well, and then let's release. Okay, so now we're going to swap over. So my other leg's now going out, and I've got the sole of the foot going on to the thigh. Again, I'm going on to my knuckles to make sure I'm in the right position. So here, my hand's on top of my left leg, just giving it a nice wee bit of pressure there. Other hand's coming up, and I'm coming forward, again into my yogic toe. If you can't manage that, go onto your shin, or even your thigh and your shin, just whatever available to you. But through time, you will get more flexible as well. And that's the pleasure that I see when I'm in the class, because you see people progressing, and it's been amazing to watch the difference in some of the guys in the class over the year that I've been teaching with Katie Leisure, for those that have been with me since then, which I do appreciate, but it's been amazing to see the difference in their flexibility, and sometimes their shape as well, you know. So from here, I'm going to come up, and I'm going to take my backhand. Tell why, I'm not going to take my backhand over. That's what I get for talking, for getting where I am. And please don't say it's an age thing. I know you wouldn't, you're too nice. And now I'm going to take my backhand onto the floor, and I'm going to use my bent leg to give me the strength to come up. Straight leg is now nice and long, stretching right down this side here. And then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to take my hand over, and I'm going to twist round to the side. Okay, we're nearly there, and then we come back into centre, and then legs are going to be nice and long again. So again, Paschimottanasana, so it's as if we're bringing the knees into the thighs, tootsies are up towards the sky, coming up. I'm going to tip from the hips, I'm keeping my back nice and long, I'm coming forward, but again, depending on your flexibility, whether it be your thighs, your shins, or coming into yogic toe. 3 moves in this particular position, and then take a nice big inhale, keeping that head in line with the spine, coming forward, bringing the back of the hands to one side of the feet, if you can, and then inhale, and then bring the forearms down. Last one, if you can bring the forearms down on to those shins, it's even better. Coming forward, the aim is obviously to get right down, but we'll get there eventually. and then we'll make our way up. So let's come down onto the floor again, onto the mat. And all we're going to do is bring your knees into your chest. Okay. I'm going to take the leg closest to the camera down and make it straight on the floor. The same arm here. I'm going to bring it up and take the hand over to the outside of that knee, and I'm going to bring that knee over towards the camera. My head's going the opposite direction. So I'm looking down at the opposite arm. And I'm getting a nice big stretch here. Right around the glutes and the side. Spinal twist it's called. Yeah, we're twisting the spine over too. And then back into centre. Do the same on the other side. Okay. And then come over. Wonderful. That's great. And then back into centre. Bringing those knees in. Okay. So let's take the body out nice and long, nice big stretch. Oh, well deserved. So let's take one ankle out to one side of the mat and the other one out to the other side of the mat. Let's bring those arms down to the side. So they're just touching onto your thighs. Now take them away with your palms facing up towards the sky. Your head, if you feel as if it's not in alignment, just now rock it from side to side and then just relax. Okay. So let's take a nice big deep inhale. Filling up that belly, the rib cage and the chest. And let's exhale. Chest, rib cage and belly. And again, inhale. And exhale. So now just relax here for as long as you wish to. Remember, I'm back on again tomorrow night from 6 o'clock to 7. Kay and Lydia are doing their utmost to make sure that their members and friends are continuing to keep up activity during this lockdown period. And goodness knows when we'll get back into the facilities, but it's there for you. So please share and let everybody know that they can still keep themselves active. Okay. So please stay here for as long as you wish. If you want to start coming out at any point in time, all you do is stretch out, give yourself a nice big hug, and then come over to either your right side or your left side. Okay. So I brought out my wee Eileen Caddy book today, and I just opened it at a page, and what it came out with the wee quote was, be not overburdened by all that has to be done. Simply learn to take one step at a time and know that each step leads to you one step nearer your goal. Do not try to run before you can walk or undertake something that's too much for you, so that you have to drag yourself along with every step and effort. Doing so is not the right attitude. It is not being filled with joy and freedom. It means you are trying to do it on your own strength. It means that you have separated yourself from yourself and have lost division. Stop what you're doing and then change your attitude. And then relax and enjoy what you're doing in a completely new way. A change of attitude can come in the twinkling of an eye. So change and change quickly, and dance and sing through this day hand in hand. I really thought that was quite appropriate in the current situation that we are in. So I'm going to sign off. It's just after 11:15. I'd just like to say thank you for those that have came along this morning. I really do appreciate it. And again, if there's anything that you do want added in, please feel free, just send me a wee note. I'm on Facebook anyway, Eleanor Pratt. Just send me a wee note and I'll include that for next week's practice. I'm on again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock to 7, and I really do appreciate you guys coming along, so thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks a lot. Bye.